for the knowledge, for the truth. We're here to loosen you up. We're gonna laugh, connect, and laugh some more. Open up the good times, knocking on your door. From the serious to silly, we will never bore. It's the Think, Laugh, Connect show. What are you waiting for? Got a question in your head, need a moment to be fed. For the knowledge, for the truth, we're here to loosen you up. We're here to loosen you up. We're gonna laugh, connect, and laugh some more. Open up the good times, knocking on your door. From the serious to silly, we will never bore. It's the Think, Laugh, Connect show. What are you waiting for? We're gonna laugh, connect, and laugh some more. Open up the good times, knocking on your door. From the serious to silly, we will never bore. It's the Think, Laugh, Connect show. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Welcome. We are live on another episode of Laugh, Connect, and Laugh Some More. I'm your host, Sean the Legend Killer Yoster. I'm joined today again with James Wolpzone Brown and Rudy Spector van Wyk. Say hi, guys.
Hey, hello, how are you guys doing today? Rudy is he's still off mic quickly. He'll be back in a sec. He had a family thing quickly.
So yes, Rudy will be joined to us shortly. So today on our Laugh Connect and Laugh for More podcast, we are talking all about survival, one of James's favorite subjects.
No, definitely one of my top subjects that I like chatting about.
Yeah. So for me, I used to love watching Survivor when it just started. We are going to talk about TV shows versus real survival as well, because some of the TV shows might have aspects of it, but not complete survival. And I think James will agree with me there.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to some of these survival shows and what actually happens behind cameras. So yeah, a lot of people they've they've got the, as they say, schleps about it. But some of the shows, they come off as survival, but are they really? That's the question. Because cameras can say one thing, and what happens behind the camera is another thing.
I think I hear Rudy quietly stepping in. Maybe.
Really, are you stepping in quietly?
If you hear any strange sex noises, we're cutting his mic.
Oh yeah. Okay. Funky noises and whatnot.
Okay, so
Someone. Yeah.
yeah, so I
Okay.
think
So let's start off. I'll start this off if you don't mind, there, Sean.
no, go ahead.
Um, so first of all, you mentioned Survivor, okay? Where they
As
do
a
these little games and stuff as a tribe and what.
yeah, that's
Um,
not the real survival, but I mean it falls
it's-
in the aspect. But it's more entertainment than actual
look,
survival.
uh, I mean, when you're looking at Survivor when it started, um, probably yes. Um, but they are not technically surviving because if something happens, then the medics are there. If they get too malnutritioned or they get allergic reaction from something they ate, the medics are there. If they start getting dehydrated and malnutrition too far, then all of a sudden they got the game where they can get food. That's not how it works, bro. Um, if you look at, I think it's one of the shows. I think it's not Naked and Alive. It was, I think it was one of the other ones. But one of the winners that I've actually been following for a couple of years now on YouTube, Zachary Fowler. He's the pinnacle of a survivalist. He literally won one of their series. He didn't even know he won, but at the end of the day, the guy's got his wife. They went out to the island where he was, and she's like, "Hello, you can come home now. You won." That guy literally lost so much weight. He literally was skin and bone alone. Um, he built himself a proper, um, as we'll call it, survival cabin out of sticks and wood and fibers that he weaved together to make rope. And he was living comfortably. It was snowing like crazy. Um, but yeah, he was eating every night. Not the best diet, but he made do with what was on his island. You understand? And he ended up winning the game. And I think out of all of the shows on that specific series, he's probably the one that did the best. Um, and yeah, he lasted the longest.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We started without you.
Yeah, you missed our intro.
It's fine. It's fine. We
Uh,
know we know you had to shake one off.
no, man. I just had to look at some fuses because the cameras is not working anymore. My dad needed a second pair of eyes to see what the hell went wrong, and looked at the cameras, and I cannot really see anything wrong. Maybe a capacitor is blowing because the the thing used to get 12 volts, but there's only 4 volts coming through, and I think it's a capacitor issue, but it could really be anything. So
Yeah,
tomorrow we're going to get a new one.
Yeah, sometimes like with these fuses, they don't have enough power. What you can do or try for a quick fix is some tin foil, because sometimes those connectors are not strong enough and they burst. And if you, tin foil is actually a good conductor if you are missing um uh, 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 a plug or something, you know?
Mm.
anyway, yeah, so as I was saying, so I just quickly did a search just to recap my memory. The show was called Alone. Um, Definitely worth a watch. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, when you do get stuck in the middle of nowhere, uh, it's going to be a serious mental strain. Your biggest enemy is your mentality. At the end of the day, that's going to be your biggest downfall when it's trying to survive. And I think the one show alone um, shows it the best. Um, as they try to keep the show as raw as possible. Even Bear Grylls, a lot of people will be um, well known with him. Bear Grylls there's only one way of putting it. He does know his shit. He's not any, you know, secondary Mickey Mouse wanting to pop behind the camera and state that he knows everything. Um, he does know what he is talking about. Even my kids, they like watching Bear Grylls. It's also very educational for them. Stuff you cannot eat, stuff that you thought you cannot eat, but is actually really good for you, stuff like that. So, yeah, when it comes to that, I can rant on for fucking hours.
I mean, remember there used to be that one TV show as well, with this guy. But no, we both did it. Is like on the show itself, you had multiple choices. You'll tell you like, does he go the shortcut, the long way, or does he eat the mushrooms or stuff?
Yeah,
And then on the TV,
it,
you would choose, and it'll
that
play out that scenario.
yeah, that's one of the shows Bear Grylls did. It was an interactive show that he partnered with Netflix to help spread a little bit more educational value to younger children when it comes down to something like that. Um, my kids loved it because at the end of the day, they could see that the decision that you make, it's either going to have a positive outcome or it's going to have negative repercussions, you see. And I thought that show was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a good way of teaching the younger kids of today um, how to survive. Because back in our day, and I'm talking about when we started growing up, uh, if we went camping, we went camping. Nowadays, when people go camping, they've got fucking five-star restaurants towing behind them. There's no more raw camping involved. It's all about how luxurious you can make your camping trip at the end of the day.
Glamping.
Yeah,
For
spelunky.
me, when I went camping with fam, especially with my brother. So what I like about camping is when you have to go out to get your own firewood.
Yeah,
And what I did was we didn't had like any other things to carry the firewood. So me and my brother had this brilliant idea of taking a nice long branch that has other branches to it, and then you have another one. So what you can do is you can let them lay on each other. You have the one branch at the one end and the other branch at the other end. So what
mm,
we did do is we throw a couple of wood branches, sticks, all that kind of stuff in the middle,
yeah,
so that once we done that, we then pick up on each side, and so one would push, the other one would pull,
mhm,
and then that would you would be able to carry a lot of branches at one single go. All the branches that you could ever need, all the
yeah,
sticks, all the wood that you could ever have for it could last you for a week or two.
yeah. So, okay, let's put it into this now. Okay, when you do get yourself into a position where you're going to have to survive for a night or even longer, the first thing that you need to consider is where are you going to set up a base camp.
Exactly.
So, number one is you got to make sure that the area you pick is high elevation so that whatever smoke that you make is visible for hundreds of Ks. Secondly, you're going to have to be in an area where there is water availability. Then the area you pick, you got to make sure that it's an area that you don't have to walk for 4 kilometers to get some firewood. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So those three aspects alone are the most important. High elevation, visibility. Okay, option one, aspect number one. Aspect number two, water availability, firewood availability. Those are the three important aspects when it comes to your survival. Everything else, you can sit and try and make a plan. If you have to go hunting or foraging, fine. You can do that within about 3 to 4 kilometer radius of your base camp. Okay. Then, if you've got those nailed down, your rates of survival just went up to about 60%. Because you can live without food for a couple of weeks, but you cannot live without water. Your body will need water. As people will know, the human body has got a great percentage of water in it. It's mostly water. So we need to recuperate whatever we sweat out. So yeah, those are your important things. And then, of course, wherever I go, and Sean also sent me a little present. I've got this bangle. It's got a para rope on it, but also not just a para rope. It's got a flint. The most important part for me. It's got a flint, so I'll be able to make fire. You gotta try and figure out how to make fire if you do not have flint.
Hmm.
There's an old way. If you find a piece of rope, you can make yourself a hand drill kit. Um, it's not the easiest way of making fire, but it is a possible way of making fire. So if you are caught in a situation, I would honestly advise you the first thing you need to do is find your location as soon as possible, because when it gets dark, you're gonna get miserable, you're gonna get cold, you're gonna start losing the will, as they say. So the sooner you can get your fire started, the better. You can go
Yes.
without food that night, but to have a fire will be soothing to the mind, if I can put it in that sense.
Yeah, it also keeps you sane. The other thing is, it is better to make a fire because you do not want to just sleep and then suddenly you get attacked in the night.
Mm,
Fire keeps a lot of critters away. Animals that could cause you harm, they don't like fire, so they would just stay away if you have fire.
true, true. That's why the first thing you need to do before sun goes down is make sure that you have a fire and you've got ample firewood around you to
Yeah.
keep the fire fueled. Um, but the animals isn't always just the thing to worry about.
Yes.
Small cuts, um, stuff that prick you. You gotta be careful because there is no such thing as medicine when you are stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Well,
um,
there is medicine if you know what to use.
yeah, but now we are talking about a point of fact for somebody that doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can choose something
Sean
wrong
in the
and
middle of
just
nowhere.
poison. You can
Yeah,
choose something wrong
Sean.
and poison yourself.
Yeah, let's use an example. Let's use Sean as an example. All right. So Sean, he'll be able to follow that 3 steps. Find proper elevation, find firewood, find water. All right. But now he's got a cut on his leg, and Sean can admit to this. He doesn't know what plants to use that would even come close to being used as medicine. You understand?
No, but I do know how to cauterize the wound at least.
That's true. Fine. But still, even after cauterizing your wound, okay, there could still be shit inside that can end up causing serious issues. I
That
mean,
true?
certain places in the world, the flesh-eating bacteria is very well known. It's a very prominent virus. Um, so yeah, if you get infected, yeah, you're gonna fucked, in my personal opinion. But here's the thing: you need to get yourself visible. So fire, green leaves and stuff, make lots and lots and lots of smoke. Because our air traffic, when you look at um, there's a website where you can see air traffic. Pilots usually report every little smoke trail that they do see when they are flying anywhere. Even if they fly over a city and they see smoke that can't be reasonably explained. So, for instance, if it doesn't come from a smokestack, they will report it because it could be a building that's burning. That's one thing that I know. So, air traffic in today's age, is if you look at that map, it's insane. There's a lot of air traffic. So, having a fire with a lot of smoke and a secluded place will definitely get noticed by a pilot when they are flying. And if somebody is looking for you, it's also going to be an advantage because they are going to spot smoke. Because in a forest where it's known that there ain't any villages or people or anything, when they do see smoke, they will report it and they will send out a rescue team to investigate that smoke trail. So that's your most important thing that you need to realize when it comes to survival. The less time that you spend in the wild, the better for you. Um, it's kind of appalling sometimes. These guys make these shows so very entertaining. Okay, every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to try it. That Naked and Alive. The one lady wasn't even there for 3 hours, and she started crying like, "I want to go home." But then, why the fuck did you come on the show?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
The thing is, they watch the stuff and then they think it's going to
exactly.
be easy, and it's not.
And that's why I say these, and I'm gonna say it up front because we are uncensored. We don't give a shit. The oaks running naked and alive, they fucking stupid because they are trying to get rich people and people famous, for being rich and convincing them subliminally to, oh yeah, oh fuck, that looks easy. I can do that shit. There's serious health risks involved, people. Okay? It's like, oh yeah, but they can catch fish every single day. Yeah, okay, cool. But even Bear Grylls, even Zachary Fowler, oaks that really know their shit when it comes to survival, they will tell you you can have water, you can have little wild veggie onion thingies, and you can have plenty of fish, but it's not going to do you shit. Fish is only omega B, okay? Fish content fat is very little. You're gonna have to eat a shit ton of fish to be able to keep up your daily calories and fat content to be able to survive and keep your weight. Your system can go into shock if you lose weight too fast. If you lose your calories too fast, your system will go into shock. And that's what people don't realize. Anyone else?
No, no,
No,
no.
no.
You
I
are
can't I
saying
can't
one.
I
You
can't keep
you
talking. You gotta ask
you
questions.
you are 100% correct on that because a lot of times it's like that what survival series like you said like and not trying to be sexist or anything, but there was a time where it was men versus women, and there's
Yes.
a point where
Oh.
the women try to do exactly what Bear Grylls are doing, but they are suffering. They are all fighting amongst each other.
True,
They're literally walking in circles, right?
true.
So you can say, yeah, it is easy. I can just do what they do. It's not a
Yeah.
problem. But the thing is, it is not that simple.
Mhm.
See,
Look,
the problem. Sorry, James.
uh,
The problem also that comes in is like most people. Like I'm gonna use like say the three of us as an example versus three women or chicks. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they're not capable. So don't take this out of context. Me and James know each other for a long time. Me and Rudy, not so much. But we are the type of people who will communicate and assign tasks because you know what you do best. So,
mm,
like, James will go, maybe Sean, go gather some wood because you're big and strong. You can fucking carry a couple logs. And then you'll send Rudy out to something else and he'll maybe start building the base of operations or collect something else that's necessary. And then we'll like start with the most important thing, getting shelter for the evening and against the elements.
okay, let's put this into a scenario, right? Me, you, let's put it. Me, you, Rudy. Okay, we are caught up in the wild. The first most important thing, okay, before anything starts, is going to be leadership.
Yes.
And as Rudy mentioned, this women versus men show, né? The biggest problem that they got when that thing starts is who's in charge. Now, the guy that thinks he's a banker and he's a manager or a CEO of a company, so he's used to being in charge. Okay? Fine, fair enough. That's good to know. But it ain't gonna help you shit because you're in an environment that you know jack shit about.
Exactly.
So you gotta get somebody in charge that knows his shit when it comes to surviving. Right? So me, you, and Sean caught up. I'm definitely going to take charge. I'm not saying that none of you are not knowledgeable. Okay. The reason why I would,
But the fact is, you can only have one person in charge,
exactly.
unless there's like a split that needs to happen, and you need to send out two different groups. Then you put in
Yes.
two different people, but
Yeah.
you
eh,
can't have two people barking out orders at the same
Exactly.
time.
That's it. So, first thing that I would do is I would say, right, Rudy, what knowledge do you have? Now, this will be a rough hour discussion when we do get caught into place. Right, Rudy, what's your knowledge when it comes to the wilderness? Right, go.
Well, for me personally, it is to look at the area that you are in. Definitely know the wildlife around you. Know generally the area what you could be facing at night, what you could be facing just as you stroll across by. So for me, it is to generally seek a somewhat of an open area, not too open, but definitely somewhat open, and most likely a higher ground.
Okay. Now, like I said, we are caught in a scenario. It's a
Yeah,
subtropic area. Okay.
yeah.
What's your knowledge on the wilderness? What do you know that can be an advantage to us surviving? Do you
You
know
know,
how to
you
make a
know,
fire?
like hunting, making fire and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Do
3D.
you know how to make a fire
Yes,
without any tools?
exactly. I know how to do that. Yes.
All right. So then you are going to be set up in camp, getting our fire started. Right. Sean, what do you know that can be an advantage to us in the wild?
I guess hunting and gathering, I
So
guess.
you've got a bit of skill setting up traps. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Can you
Uh,
make a snare for us? All right, fine. Sean, you're going to go out, look for wood. All right. Then you're going to, while you're looking for wood, you're going to look at animal paths. If you see any animal paths, okay, then you're going to set up a snare so that we can try and catch something. All right. That's going to be your job, Sean. Me, I'm going to
and
go
making
out.
and making spears.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go out, survey the area, and I'm gonna try and find water source for us. And then while I'm
What?
doing that,
Yeah.
I'm also going to look at if I can find any other edibles like coconuts, wild onions, berries, those type of things. Okay, that's how you set up. That's how you start off. That's that. That's when. That's how these shows supposed to start off with. But now you've
Yeah.
got Oaks 2 seasons in arguing who's going to be in charge. They're on a
But I,
beach.
I, but I would also argue the fact, well, okay, one person, yeah, you need at least one or two persons to
Hmm,
stay back and start
hmm.
setting up base. But the problem is, I would say before anyone even starts off with setting up a base, is finding a water source because you want to set your base as close to that water source as possible.
That's true. So here's the thing: this scenario that I just put out, okay? This is the scenario to survive the night, okay? As long as we've got that fire, while you're looking for wood and you set up a snare on a little animal path that you find, maybe 9 o'clock at night, we hear a fucking squeal of an animal caught in that trap, right? That means, okay, fine. We'll go out, grab it. We're going to eat something tonight. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But the point of the fact is we've got a place where there's a fire that is emitting smoke, at least, so that if there are anybody out looking for us that same night, the light and the smoke is going to be a signal relay for them. If we find water, then I can say, right, from this morning, we're going to be going closer to the water source. We'll be moving closer to the water source and we will set up base camp there. Because water source equals animal movement. Because even animals have to drink. All right?
And besides, you can go longer without food than
Then you can
water.
with water. Yes, that's exactly correct. That's how you do it. You don't come on a fucking beach and you start arguing for 2 seasons on, I'm going to be in charge. No, fuck you. I'm going to be in charge. Oh, hell no, bro. Uh-uh. And as Rudy mentioned, the males and females. I don't say that females can't survive. There's a couple of females that I've seen on survival shows that are pretty fucking good. They are really, really good at surviving. But those ones that are good at surviving also know their limitations.
I mean, I love my wife, but she'll never survive if we crash on the island and she was alone. She won't be able to do it. That's just
Yeah, she'll be
Erika.
probably
Erika, if you're
she'll
listening, you
argue
know
with
I'm.
me.
Erika, if you're listening, you know I'm talking the truth.
Yeah. And as much as I love you as a sister, I know for a fact that if Erika was caught with us, she would probably be arguing with me a lot. Yeah, but why do I have to do this? Oh, why don't you do? I know that. I know that, but I love you, sis, and yeah, you gotta suck it up and just go with the flow if you want to survive. Look, some of those shows, okay, I don't know, it's very controversial because most of the women they put on there are those women that's like, oh, we don't need men. We don't need men to survive. We don't need men. I watched one show where for a men and women were separated, right? They were put onto an island, women on the one side of the island, men on the other side of the island. That dude, within an hour, the men had a fire going. Within that same hour, they had two guys going out looking, scavenging for food along the coastline. They had guys looking for wood. They had a group of guys looking for water. The three most fundamental things of survival. Those guys had it nailed within an hour. All right? The women, the women were walking around, bitching with each other, bragging how they don't need men. What happened that night? They slept without fire. They were cold. They were shivering. They were hungry. They were bitching. Right? The men, that night, sleeping comfy next to a fire. They ain't shivering. And the guys found some scallops and mussels and stuff on the coastline. They found some old metal pot laying on the beach. They found empty bottles on the beach. They had water. They had something to eat. And they had a warm place to sleep. I mean, if that doesn't explain it, then what does? For a
The thing is,
week, for a week, that woman was on that beach without fire.
Yeah,
for
I
me,
mean, oh,
sorry.
sorry. You can
Uh-uh.
go first, Rudy. Go
For
first.
me personally, organization, being organized, knowing what to do. Like James said, you have to have
Authority.
you have to have authority. You need a leadership, and you need a basic understanding of each other. It
Mm,
doesn't help that there is infighting because oh no,
mm,
I want to be the leader, not you.
mm.
And at that point, you'll be spending more fighting amongst each other than actually solving the problem.
Yeah,
Also, the thing is, if you are on a tropical island, know exactly where you are. Use the sun, use the sky, make landmarks if you need to.
yeah. Okay, but
Uh,
now also to mention, sorry for jumping in there, Rudy.
yeah,
Also to mention to you, ne, not everybody knows how to do that. You
Mm,
understand? Not
yeah,
everybody
true.
knows how to read the sky. No, not everybody knows how to read the constellations. Not everybody knows how to use the sun to navigate. So how are you going to navigate? You understand my point now?
I
The, the
see.
the most fundamental part. I'm not talking about survival shows. Um, to stay alive and win a bunch of prize money. This is not what I'm talking about right now.
You're
This
talking
is
about true
real
survival.
real life scenario when you get caught in the middle of fucking nowhere. That's what I'm talking about. You're not gonna know shit. Most of our listeners don't have any of this experience. I've got this knowledge that I built up, okay, over the years. I did a small little game ranger course when I was a young chap still, and in that game ranger course, they do show you how to survive. They literally put you through a test for 3 days to see Can you guys survive for 3 days without anybody helping you? And they put us into a group.
Mhm.
They put us onto the coastline in KwaZulu-Natal. And we also had the infighting in our team. I said, okay, fine. That's what you want to do. By all means, you go ahead. I know exactly what I'm going to do because my father was in the military and he did teach me a couple of things. So I know exactly what I need to do to survive for myself then. I ended up going. I started getting the fire ready and I started gathering some stuff off of the coastline to eat that night. I lived like a bloody king, bro. Literally. The other group, they were like hungry and what. Some of the chicks that was in there, they're like, okay, that guy's got a fire. That guy's already started getting food. We're going over to his team.
Yeah.
I mean, fire food equals survival. Okay. Then I'm like, okay, now tonight we're not gonna have any water to drink because one person can only do as much in one day. If they joined up sooner, I could have sent them out to go look for water. You know. But yeah, we ended up surviving, and I got some decent skills and uh, got good marks as they put it. But yeah, when it comes down to real life, just remember the three fundamentals: higher elevation, water, and make sure that the area that you are in has got ample of firewood close at hand. If you got those three things nailed down, all the rest will follow accordingly.
I mean, it's also as simple as knowing at least some of your fruits and veg enough to know what can hydrate you and what dehydrates you as well. Because, you can, like, if you find a watermelon, that's something to eat and drink at the same time.
Yeah, sorry, you guys just go on. I'm just quickly busy for a sec.
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the definitely, and also you need to find a water source. And the problem is with water is most likely the water that is around you is going to be decontaminated. It is going to mess you up badly if you drink it. So if you even if you have a fire going on and all that stuff, finding a way to scoop that water, boiling it, and then drinking it afterwards is the best solution. But the problem is if you are on an island, tropical island, you are surrounded by sea. So that is the difficult part. The only thing you can possibly do is just use the rain. If there is rain that comes in the forest, it's a double-edged sword. And what that means is that okay, you get the rain, you get water to drink, but now you are cold. You are wet, you are now exposed to the elements, and the chances of you getting sick is then pretty high. Especially you also have to deal with freaking spiders, maybe snakes on a tropical island.
Snakes
um
you can eat, spiders you
s-
can eat.
yeah, but
Some.
But
again, you
again, you
have to be
have to be
very
very
careful
careful
how you
how you
deal with that
deal with that
situation,
situation.
because
So
sometimes
sometimes
you don't know
don't
what
know
to
what to
do.
do.
You
You
get
get
bitten, and
bitten
then
and
you're
then you're
pretty
pretty
much
much
screwed,
screwed,
right?
right?
Yep, that's true. That's definitely true.
Dude,
Uh,
if I'm stuck on an island and there's no food and James is with me, I'm sorry, James, I'm gonna become a Hannibal Lecter.
well, look, dude, I'll take you out because you got more on your bones to eat than anything I do. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, I've got a little kit that I built up. Okay, which if I do go out, I tend to take with me. So normal little cotton balls. Okay, you take those little cotton balls, you melt candle wax, right? You take those cotton balls, you soak that into candle wax, you leave them to dry. You squash them down so they look like little, discs. You put that into a small little box container that you seal with candle wax around the sides, and you put a bit of duct tape, because that duct tape, you can reuse that duct tape to do other things with as well. And I promise you, you'll be amazed at what you can do just with a little bit of duct tape. You can use it for if you got a scratch, use it as a plaster. Okay. Um, you can weave that stuff into a rope if you need to. There's so much you can do just with a piece of duct tape. The candle wax, if you melt it, right, and you put the cotton balls into it and you let it set, you can use that as a burn pellet. Starting a fire, easy, fast. Always carry a bunch of little needles and little thread with you as well, so if you get deep cuts, you can stitch yourself. Small stuff like that it fits into a little pocket-sized little box. Bigger, not even bigger than a cigarette box. That alone there will that will give you about a week worth of being able to survive only. I've got a little box like that, yeah, in my house with a little first aid stuff added into it. I've got two little boxes. If I know I'm traveling, I always make sure I take them with me. One's for starting for fire, and one is for medical purposes. I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds, nothing was ever gonna happen, but you never know. My grandfather always taught me, rather have it and not need it, and then need it and not have it.
Yes.
That's my philosophy.
There's a saying. It's not the saying is, I'm not saying that you're going to
Hmm.
need to use it. I'm just saying that you might regret not having it.
Exactly, exactly. And I would advise all our listeners, go have a look at Zachary Fowler's YouTube channel. Go and look at um, my. I would say Zachary is my second favorite. My most favorite YouTube creator is the Outdoor Boys. Um, yes, that guy looks like he's running a show for the fun of it, but that guy knows his shit. He survives in Alaska, one of the most hardest and most brutal places to be able to survive at night or even for a couple of days in the wild. That guy does it like it's a picnic. He's been doing it since a very, very young age. He only recently they decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to put it onto a YouTube channel because there's a couple of people that was asking me questions on how do I do that and how did I do that. So I'm going to make a YouTube channel about it and show the people how to survive in Alaska climate when bad things happen. And a lot of bad things tend to happen in Alaska because of it being so wild country.
Yeah,
And of course, fucking freezing cold because it's permanent snow.
you
I
would
mean, those
you
guys are like, oh, it's the summer, but it's still fucking snowing, bruh. You know?
yeah, and you would think, being in the snowy environment,
Mm,
there's nothing that can hurt you. Oh, there's plenty of things that can hurt you.
yeah. Look, I mean, um, Outdoor Boys, they pretty much stopped their YouTube channel recently, and there's a lot of people that are upset about it because a lot of people enjoyed watching him. Um, a lot of people enjoyed him taking his sons with him. teaching his sons how to survive in the Alaskan outback. Um, it was a good family wholesome show, and he was doing very good. And he shut down his channel. There was controversy behind it. My personal opinion, even though he says he wants to spend time with his family and his sons growing up, and that the YouTube channel takes quite a bit of his time and family time, I can understand that part. But I personally think, um, my wife's opinion is sound. I think a lot of people started threatening him, his family, you know. So he decided, okay, I'm stopping now because family does matter more than anything else.
Yes.
Um, I'm really upset uh, that he stopped. Honestly, um, Zachary Fowler, his YouTube channel was perfect from the beginning. I've got no issues with it. Only now, the last, you know, in track now for the last year or so, uh, I haven't watched that much. I'm going to be honest. He does more advertisements for equipment than anything else. If he starts doing his 30-day challenges in the middle of fucking nowhere again, then I'll start watching. Because I mean, he literally took a buddy of him, the bearded woodsman, also very
Mm.
good guy to watch on YouTube. Um, they usually go into the middle of nowhere, and they say, "Okay, we're gonna stay here for 30 days." And they do. They hunt, they scavenge, they gather, they craft all kinds of shit for 30 days, and they living like it's a camping excursion. I mean, surviving isn't even. It's not even a challenge for them anymore. It's more like, we're gonna go on holiday. Let's go survive for 30 days. You understand? You
Yes.
get to that point, okay, of your mental evolution where survival isn't survival anymore. It's just a way of living.
Yes. It's secondhand nature.
Yeah. And the Wooded Beardsman, like I mentioned, also very good YouTube channel to watch. That guy shows you how. I mean, he's got like a off-grid property almost. They've got maple trees. This guy makes his own maple syrup, dude. He made he made one episode where he literally shows step for step how they make maple syrup
Mm.
and stores it and stocks it up. And this guy, he hunts for their food. It's very rarely that he shows where he's going shopping. You know, if I got to
Yeah.
put in a, I mean, one of the things that I do like as well is the guys that do the off-grid cabins and stuff,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
it's also a point of survival. It's just a little bit um, more prominent, if I can put it in this way, because they know they're going there and they're going to stay there. They don't want to be dependent on the government. They don't want to be dependent on anything else. They want to be self-sustaining. That is not an easy thing to do. Okay. And a lot of these shows that started off in the beginning, there was big controversy about it because now every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to try and do the same thing, and people try and do it, and they get ruined. I mean, those people sell everything that they have. Okay, the everything they've got now is in a bank account. Now they go and they buy wood, timber, tools. They buy everything that they are supposedly going to need to survive off grid without getting shit from the government, on their own, self-sustaining, lekker, no problems.
Yeah,
First 3 months, boom, they fucked. They bought the land in the middle of nowhere. They've got the rights to be self-sustaining, lekker,
yeah,
but they can't make it work because the people don't tell them on a show the shit that's involved that's not on camera.
exactly.
They
Of
make
course,
it
they're
look
not.
like it's all sunshine and rainbows and whatnot.
It's the thing is that's the thing. Where when it comes to camera, you only see cuts, edited. You don't
Yeah,
see, you don't get the full,
yeah,
you don't get the full experience. So
yeah.
in your mind, it's like, oh, this looks easy, but
It
meanwhile, you
ain't.
don't think you don't think you know what the guy did some camera cuts. You know, he did this and
Mm.
that while doing this and all that. It's they don't think of it.
Yeah. Look, here's my challenge for this episode. Okay. I challenge our subscribers, our listeners. I challenge you guys. If you have ever watched Zachary Fowler, The Wounded Beardsman, or any survival show, challenge those guys to do a 24-hour live stream of them
Uncut,
trying,
unedited.
uncut, unedited, surviving in those circumstances. I don't care if this guy's got his camera running for a month non-stop. Get them to do that, then they can call themselves real survivalists. Me, myself, as knowledgeable as I am, I do not classify myself as a survivalist because I know the shit that's involved. I know how bad things can get because I'm a rational thinker. You guys have probably noticed from day one when we started our show, I've mentioned it more than once. I think rationally. If shit doesn't make sense, then it's not going to work. Um, I can survive if I really, really, really have to. Um, if it comes down to my family's survival, I can do it. I have done it before. It has happened where I had no job, I had no money, I had no food, I had nothing except the clothing on our back. We had to survive. I had to hunt. I had to do odd things to get vegetables in for my family to be able to eat. I scavenged to survive. We slept under a sleeping bag tent to survive. My kids thought it was a camping excursion because they were still young, but uh, things were serious, and we had to survive like that for a week. But we did because of what I knew, and I implemented what I knew, and I tried keeping my mindset only concentrated on having my family eat, having them sleep, having them warm, having them safe. That 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 was my fundamental thinking. That is my way of thinking at that point in time. And we did. When you are down and out and you are stuck in a position, your mindset would be an asset or it would be your enemy. Always remember that.
Well, for me, coming back to the survival, what you just
Mm,
said over there, I personally have not done it before, but I
mm,
have experienced it, where with this, which is something I can say about my dad.
mm,
My dad is hobby. His hobby is about
Mm,
fixing washing machines, tumble dryers, dishwasher, and stuff. But
mm,
it wasn't always a hobby. Now it's a business that my dad now
mm,
and then
mm,
does to earn money. Sometimes we take broken parts that we cannot use anymore. We would strip them down, get all the copper out and what, take it to the scrap, and then get money from there.
mm,
Um, so what my dad used to do way back in the day, because we were like seven people total. It's my three
mm,
sisters, me and my brother, and obviously my mom and dad. So we were seven people in total, and all seven of us, believe it or not, fit in a car. Don't ask us how, but we made it work.
yeah.
Especially when some of us had to go to high school and some of us had to go to primary school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so at the time when you are only earning a certain amount of money, but you do not earn enough to feed a family, you are going to be desperate. You're going to be doing things that you know you should not do with the company's vehicle.
Mm-mm. Mm.
Um, so picking up machines and selling them, especially people that they get rid of their machines. They don't know what to do with it. They don't want to take it to
Yeah.
scrap. It's just standing there in their yard. And so what my dad would do is my dad would take it, wash it, clean it, and then try fixing it. And if it works, my dad would sell it, and it has been very good so far. It has been very blissful for my dad to make a business like that. And yeah, that's how it all started. Um, but yeah, my dad had to sometimes come with the truck and give the money to my mom so that we do not see it. And then my dad would say, "Go buy bread, go buy this, and make sure the children have bath before 5. I'll be back soon." And that's what my dad has been doing for most of the years where my sisters were in the house, until one day they decided to also spread their wings and fly. And so when they flew, it was just me and my brother. And so the finance became lighter, and to the point
Yeah.
where my dad didn't have to do that anymore, and things
Mm-mm-mm.
became more relaxed. Although my dad still did the washing machine as a hobby, but only did it on the weekends because my dad was working in the week.
Mm.
Sometimes when my dad get home and my dad was bored, my dad would still do it and just try to get the machine sold. But because my dad is retired, my dad is now doing that more and more, and my dad is pretty knowledgeable of how to do it. Um, and me, on the other hand, my way of surviving is just being a freelancer,
Yeah.
drawing for people and all that stuff. So
Now,
I am not employed. I am
yeah,
self-employed, and yeah, I wish I could make more, but yeah,
yeah.
it's a way of survival.
It's like this. You get different survival scenarios. You get the wilderness survival scenario that we've been talking about, and then we get what this is now. I classify this as urban survival because in today's age, a lot of people they are not in the position of most others. Um, so urban survival, I classify it as a point of survival because you are surviving to stay alive.
Yes.
It's I still classify it as survival, but if you really want to get technical, we call it urban survival. But in anywho, Sean, how are we on time today?
I think we're good for today.
All right, just
Because
our
well, we've just been over an hour, but
yeah,
I think
yeah,
this has been a good chat.
yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel.
No,
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 no, it's
definitely. It's one
it's
of my
it's
enjoyable topics.
it's been a great chat.
I just wanted to point out a couple of thank yous to one of our viewers at something of blood. Thank you for the comment that you popped down for us. We appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna give you a shout out on that one. We're happy you enjoyed it, and we are happy to hear that it's one of the most stranger things that you've heard. um,
Just wait and see.
it,
There's more shit coming.
it's supposed to be different. That is what we started out doing. We wanted this channel to be
Something out
nothing
of
the
the
same.
ordinary.
Yeah, we don't want it to be the same as anything else. We like being different. We are different. Um, and we're happy that you did
The first
enjoyed
episode.
our first episode on the show. Is there any other shout outs that you got there, Sean, that you can remember on?
We haven't had many comments, but yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of viewers.
Uh,
I don't know all of them at name. We have now just over 100 subscribers. Just want
yep.
to thank each and
Each,
every
yeah,
one of them.
definitely. Yeah. Thank you for the support. Mm,
Yeah, and until next time, I think what we'll probably do before I say until next time, I think I'm gonna move the actual broadcast to a Saturday so it suits everyone better.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
way it
things
doesn't
change.
interfere with work. Because the thing is, we don't get paid for this. This is not our day jobs.
No,
So I mean, we do our like Spectre says, we do our stuff. None of us are actually employed except for Quibus.
yeah,
All of us do odd jobs just to survive,
yep.
basically.
We are in a daily urban survival scenario.
Yeah, where everything just gets more expensive and your
Yep,
pay stays the same.
Or sometimes not even the same. Sometimes you get less out because you don't always have the same clients.
yep, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
and especially the worst case for me because especially
Mm,
vacations like Christmas, business then runs damn slow. Nobody wants to come and buy my art or anything, and
yeah,
it really sucks.
yep, yep, yep.
You
Look,
should
I mean,
actually consider doing some of those night markets and stuff like that. The Christmas
mm,
markets.
oh yeah,
You,
definitely, yeah.
I mean, that's how I make my money in the Christmas time. I do like all these Christmas markets, and then I sell some stuff that I make.
And that
uh,
delicious coffee that you do. Don't
that's a
forget the
good
coffee.
idea.
But yeah, look, I would like to hear from our viewers and our subscribers, if they've been in a survival scenario before, what their solutions were, and you know what they think good tips and hints might be on survival, so we can see whether it's going to be plausible or not when you put it into practice. And I will probably put it into practice myself and see whether that would be plausible. And then I will give you guys feedback on our next episodes whether it would be or not. How does
Well,
that sound to you?
I mean, even we write. If someone makes a comment, I usually try and write back and reply in that
Mm-hmm.
same comment.
Yep. Same
So
here.
we won't just ignore you. We will
Nah.
respond.
Yeah. No. We will definitely try and respond to each and every comment that comes through, because we want to engage with you guys. We want to hear your opinions on the subject on our episodes. So yeah, don't hesitate in asking, even if you think your question or your comment might be uncomfortable, you know, thing to ask or say. Don't think
No.
like that. We told you guys from the beginning this is uncensored and unedited, and we mean that. If there's
Yeah.
if
Look,
there's
no,
something that
look,
you want to ask it.
look. We're not gonna hold back, obviously.
Mm,
But the thing is, if you do get upset or something, the only person you are hurting is actually yourself. When someone, I know words can hurt, and yes, they can hurt very
mm-hmm.
badly, but
With
it
thick
does
skin.
we thick skin. So if you want to
Very,
come
very
and call,
thick
if
skin.
you want to come and call me an asshole or motherfucker or whatever,
Yeah,
go
go for it,
ahead.
bro.
Go for it. It's not going to hurt me.
Yeah.
Sticks and stones, buddy.
The,
Sticks and stones.
listen, we gotta tell you guys, when you live in South Africa and you grew up in South Africa with the shit we grew up, yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
got
got the
really
read.
thick skin, bro.
Gonna
You're gonna need a
gonna go
tank to
big.
get through our
Oh,
skin. But
but
we wanna
we want
hear
to
it. We
hear,
wanna hear
want to
your
hear it.
opinions, and
And oh,
you are free to give us your honest and unedited opinions, the same as we have our show, unedited and uncensored raw footage. We expect the
hello,
same from our viewers.
yeah, we're not showing our faces yet, but
Mm-mm.
that will come eventually. I'm a shy boy. Doesn't sound like it, but I'm a shy boy.
Not just that. As we've started this show, we've started the show with nothing. We have nothing. Okay, so as we do get to the point where we can afford
Proper equipment.
and microphones and stuff that the other YouTubers do have, then yes, we will do blood popcorns with cameras and everything. We will go to, I don't know, we'll probably go to Rudy's little room and see how things are gonna turn out there. Do I need to bring some lube with me, Rudy, or
Yeah.
Vaseline?
No,
Or
no, no,
okay.
no,
You stop
no, no,
you
no,
stopped full.
no. You will be, you will stay outside.
Well, as long as you got a couple of bottles of rum stashed away, then yeah,
No,
don't worry, I'll be
no.
happy, buddy. I think what would be nice, okay, when we get to the point where we can start having cameras, we can